Giri Govardhana ki jai, Jai Kornitai ki jai, Jai Ho Premanandi, glory to your Samuel devotees ki jai, glory to your full Lord of the jai, Ho Premanandi,
Hari Hari Bol. Sripad Bhakti Madhava Maharaj ki jai.
Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Thank you. We're going to chant some prayers, and we'll have a discussion about to get this computer to work. Yes.
Alright, so we're going to start with Vandana today. Vandana is 38.
All right. So what page?
38.
What is it?
38.
Page 38. Andeham
Sri Guru, Sri Yuta Parikamalam, Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha, Sri Rupam Sagrajatam, Sahagana Ganatanidam Tam Sajivam, Sadvaitam Savadutam, Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Radha Krishna Balaram, Sahagana Vidya Satanikansha. Like to read English? So it's like I know guess.
I offer my obeisance unto the lotus feet of my Guru, the predecessor Gurus, the Lord's devotees, Sri Rupa, Sri Sanatan, Sri Raghunath, Sri Jiva, Sri Rupa's followers, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Dev, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Prabhu, Sri Chaitanya Dev Associates, Sri Radha Krishna, Sri Lalita Devi, Sri Vishaka Devi, and all of their associates.
Om Agyanakshmirannasya
Yanandana Salakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
I offer my obeisance unto Sri Gurudev, who has opened my eyes which were blinded by the darkness of ignorance with the salve of divine knowledge.
Pujya Shri Guru Varga Vandita Mahabhavangataya Sada Paurvaya Parampara Pachalita Padyama Murta Krite Bhaktir Nirmala Nirjasya Nivitam Samaksakam Sadaram Vande Shri Gurudeva Mananta Srirajaya Vayam Vijam. Like to read?
Go ahead.
I bow my head in eternal obeisance to my Gurudev, the best of Acharyas, Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj. He is the ever vigilant, stalwart guardian of the current of pure devotion, whose highest form flows from our most worshipable Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga in their exclusive dedication to Mahabhava Srimati Radharani.
Orva Vishta Sapurakam Gurudana Shesha Sabhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nimanam Sri Rupa Patanam Govindam Dinam Punasgunam Paramita Sundaram Sundaram Vande Shatu Guru Chagavya Bhagavan Ramadi Jagadam. What else would I like to read?
I offer my obeisance unto He who perfectly fulfills his Gurudev's most cherished desires, who is fully adorned with the blessings of his Gurudev's associates, who is expert in all aspects of Vedic knowledge, both conceivable and inconceivable, who is the preeminent follower of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu's line, who is known as Govinda, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, whose beautiful effusion exalted form is infused with pure devotion, who is the Guru of the entire universe, and who is the giver of the seed of divine love for the Supreme Lord.
Evam Dhyatadam Suchandavaranam Bhavakacharam Chitam Sanananda Puram Sarikavaranam Vairagya Mudrim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Swati Lasitam Saraswatanam Vandetam Sukham Madhikasaram Yashishkaram Sriraganam. Anyone else want to read? You could do it.
Okay, I offer my obeisance unto my Lord Sri Bhakti Raksak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, whose speech is most pleasing, whose divine form is adorned with garments the color of the newly risen sun, who is an above of intense ecstatic devotion, who is the sadhu's whole choice, who is an ocean of renunciation and knowledge, who is a treasure house of perfect conclusions, who is resplendent with pure devotion, who is the best of Srila Saraswati Thakur's followers, who is the giver of all good, who is the leading general of the Tridandi Sannyasos, and who is my soul shelter.
Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Vidito Gauriya Gurvanvaye Ato Vanadeva Bhakti Nagane Yogora Sankirtane Mayavata Vinyoda Gatan Vidya Divanimam Krishna Prema Sudhagyatam Sudham Parakramutamaye.
I serve my Lord, who is known as Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur. Within the Gaudiya Sampradaya lineage of Gurus, he shines like the sun in the morning sky. Through the Sankirtan of Sriman Mahaprabhu, he rescues the souls engulfed within the belly of the Timingala of illusionism, and bestows upon them the ecstasy of swimming in the nectarian ocean of divine love for Krishna.
Namo Kortisodaya Bhaktavadutamurtaye Gaurani Padmanaya, Radha Sevine. I offer my obeisance unto the divine form of the devotee of Adut, Sri Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, who is a honeybee at the Sri Gaura Sundar's lotus feet and a servant of Srimati Radharani, imbued with deep loving attachment. Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Sastragya Samrajam Narasasam.
I offer my obeisance unto Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, the embodiment of Sri Gaura Sundar's potency. He is the king of all knowers of the scriptures of pure devotion and an ocean of the nectar of devotion to Srimati Radharani.
Gaura Raja Shikar Sheshar Vaishnava Nirvigraham Raghunatha Prabhu Rame Premagiri Vaishnavam.
I offer my obeisance unto my Lord, the ocean of divine love, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. He is the senior most devotee and worshipped by all who have taken shelter in Sri Navadvip Dham and Sri Rajadham.
Again and again, I offer my obeisance unto the Supreme Lord's devotees, who are saviors of the fallen, oceans of mercy, and wish-fulfilling trees.
Panchakatvatam Krishna Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavatam Namami Bhaktashankikam.
I offer my obeisance unto the fivefold manifestation of Sri Krishna, known as Vapanchatattva. His form as a devotee, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, his expanded form as a devotee, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, his avatar as a devotee, Sri Advaita Prabhu, his pure devotees led by Shivas Thakur, and his devotional energies led by Sri Gadadhar Pandit.
Namo Mahavanyaya Krishna Prema Pralayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namo Shri Namaha.
Again and again I offer my obeisance unto you, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, the supremely merciful golden form of Sri Krishna, the giver of Krishna Prema.
Jayatam Surato Pandur Mama Mangalatari Masavasa Padambojo Radha Mohano.
All glory to the merciful Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan. Though I am lame and wicked, they are my soul's shelter, and their lotus feet are everything to me.
Divya Vrindavanya Kalpadumana Sri Maharajana Sasaso Sri Gandhava Sri Govindevo Presali Vimana Smarami. I meditate upon Sri Radha and Sri Govinda being worshipped by their dear girlfriends as they sit upon a throne within a beautiful jeweled temple beneath the wish-fulfilling trees in the divine abode of Vrindavan.
May Gopinath, the beautiful originator of the Rasa Lila, who stand in the riverbank at Vansivat and attract the gopis with his flute song, bestow auspiciousness upon us.
Vrindaya Tulasi Devi Jaya Kesha Krishna Bhakti Prabhu Satyajaya Namo.
Again and again I offer my obeisance unto Vrinda Devi, who is known as Tulasi Devi, and Satyavati, who is most dear to Krishna, and who bestows devotion to Krishna upon us.
Having offered obeisance to one's initiating guru, to the gurus who have taught one the meaning of Bhagavat, and to all the authors of Vedic literature, who are the gurus of the entire world, proclaim Jai.
Jayata Sapadika Shri Guru Varanga Govinda Sundar Paramanam Jayastu Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasi Gaura Govinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you very much.
We need to read in English. All glory to the Also sweet. Oh? We didn't read the last one.
What's that?
We
the
didn't read the
English.
last
The
one in
English
English.
translation.
Oh, what's the English to that? Oh, no.
Yeah.
That is saying,
All
these are the
glory.
deities, this is the Jaya to the deities, Jayavani,
Uh-huh.
to the deities in Navadvip of the temple that we have there. And their names are Guru, Gauranga, Gandharvika, Govinda Sundar. And Pada Padmanam means the lotus feet, the beautiful lotus feet. We offer, all, may they conquer all over the world. They all conquer. And then the other one, you know, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. All right, page.
The,
Oh,
I
yeah,
have
that's-
a question, but well, okay. He risks his soul engulfed within the veil of the Timingala. That's the kite, the fish.
What
right?
do you want?
The
The
Timingala.
Timingala.
Yeah, the big fish.
Uh-huh,
Yeah, okay.
I like that. He's a whale-eating, he's a
Whale,
whale-eating
whale, yeah,
fish.
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
A whale-eating, he's a fish that eats whales, so he's not really a fish, he's a mammal.
Yeah.
Timingala.
Uh-huh.
So that, everyone is swallowed by that whale.
Mhm.
Even you may be a big person, still you are swallowed by the whale of illusion. This is the thing. This is Maya. Maya is the big whale that we're all absorbing. With misconception, all misconceptions about what is what. What we've learned from our childhood on up is all Maya. We don't know what our real position is. We know only the finite, what is within our grasp, what is within our comprehension. But that's only a minor fraction of what there is. You look at the universe, and we're a little spot on the spot. A little piece of dust on a piece of dust. That's the earth, and that's us. A little piece of dust in the whole universe. We're a little piece of dust and a little piece of dust. And we think we know so much. And there is so much to know. And we forget about that part. The modern society is based upon what we think we know so much. So the scripture reminds us, Yane prayasya utapasya damanta eva. Give up all that so-called knowledge. It's only misunderstanding that you are entangled with. To learn the real truth, you have to become humble, submissive, and pray for grace from above. That is your position. That is the real position of the human being. Anything else is illusion. You're under illusion to think that you can know. When you study a grain of sand, the scientists are discovering now, a grain of sand, and you cannot reach the bottom of what that is. That is only, and that Krishna tells in the Gita, is only a spark of my splendor. It's all my inconceivable potency that you are dealing with. Don't think you know what's going on. You have no idea. And your only position. Here in the scriptures, she tells us your position is to surrender to Krishna. That is your real life. And give up this illusion of being the know-it-all, of having control over everything. This is not. The whole world is involved with that, and you are going along with them. But who is wise? Veda, means who has knowledge. They take that advice seriously. All the scriptures proclaim there is God. There is God, and we have a relationship. To cultivate that is real knowledge, real civilization, real human life is benefited and is perfected. With that type of knowledge, not all this endless learning of this and that calculus and quantum theory and this theory and that theory. That won't get you freedom from this samsara cycle of birth and death, until you can wake up and realize, what am I doing? It's just wasting time. I'm dying and I'm thinking I'm enjoying. And your own fate of all your Ph.D. and all your knowledge and all your business and all your wealth, is that at the end you will die. And leave it all behind. Then what are you struggling for? It's not your life. Any intelligent person, sober person, will wake up from that kind of intoxicated existence. It's all intoxication. I don't think those who are taking drugs are having a problem. We're all on drugs. That's called and no more, and what do they call that? Endorphins.
Endorphins.
Serotonin, dopamine. These are all things that are going on in your brain. That's drugging you, making you think you're happy, unhappy, this, that, the other thing. It's all drugs. They're not your life. Scientists are showing it, but we don't understand the message that it's giving. We have to believe Veda. They are giving us the information. Don't waste your intelligence in those kinds of thinking. Try to understand how insignificant you are, how humble you are, how much great the Lord is to provide all these things. Try us with our own intelligence, our own existence. Right, so much there in nature for us to enjoy, not to exploit and spoil and pollute. If only we can understand how to take the humble stance. The humble stance, humble position. And learn, use your intelligence to learn that, to understand that, how you are a humble servant of Krishna. Now he is the supreme, almighty, and unconquerable Lord. And he is only looking for one thing from us, our love. That's all. We can learn love for him, who's given everything to us. The only thing he's asking of us. Not that we have to study so much Shastra, science, and whatever. We don't have to become rich. We don't have to become famous. We don't have to become influential, powerful. We don't need any of this. Only how to grow love for him, and we can become happy, fully satisfied, full knowledge. That is knowledge. All other so-called knowledge is kind of a deception, delusion, leading us astray wholly. It's very hard for people to understand that. Sadurlava, Vedaistra. What is that verse? Vedaistra Sasu, Vedesha Durlava. Vedesha Durlava, Adurlava Matma Bhakto. It's very difficult to understand this knowledge. But it's very easy for one who becomes the Atma Bhakta, the devotee of the Lord. One who submits themselves to the devotee of the Lord, they let God rule their life. It's very easy to understand all these things. They are difficult, they break our brain to try to understand from a material perspective. They don't understand. Don't beat your head against a rock, a wall, a brick wall. They won't learn that way. Even hearing the Veda, people still don't understand. They still don't believe. They have no faith. Shraddha, faith is a very delicate thing, a very precious thing. And that doesn't come to everyone. Doesn't come to everyone. Only those of very pure heart who understand. And no ego. They've left ego behind. I am not trying to do things in my way. Thy way, thy will. Thy will be done, and we understand the will of God not by our own effort, but by through those who have surrendered to Krishna, the devotees, the saints. We can understand from them what it means to surrender, what it means to love God. Very important. These prayers that we read, they're so important. There's so much beauty. So much glory is there about the saints, about the teachers. They're not just fancy poetic words. They're very deep meaning that are connecting us with that higher plane. Those teachers who have reached that higher understanding, they are teaching us, and we are honoring them, giving praise to them. Because they are the means for understanding these things, not by your own efforts, your own meager intelligence, your own conditioned understanding of things, your own limited senses. That will not enter into that plane. Not be able to enter that. They will rather prevent you from going there. They are not welcome there. Sharanagati. I'm going to read that today. That's what we're studying in the past. We started that from last week. for starting Sharanagati. Sharanagati, how to surrender? What is that surrender? What is the meaning of that? How do we approach that? Because it's very difficult. You want to everything you want to do through knowledge, but Sharanagati doesn't come from that knowledge. It comes from the heart. And who can catch that inkling within the heart, an instinct within the heart, that they gain from the association of devotees who are trying to also taste that. They can learn. Not others. So we have prayer 105. We prepare the mind and heart to take up this humble approach to the Absolute. Amara Jivana Sada Pati Ratanahika Punyera Lesha.
Amara Jivana Sada Pati Ratanahika Punyera Lesha.
Arera Udvega Diyachi Ekata Diyachi Jivera Klesha.
Arera Udvega Diyachi Ekata Diyachi Jivera Klesha.
Nija Shukala Di Papena Jidari Jaya Hina Sparta Para.
Nija Sukala Di Papena Hidari Jaya Hina Sparta Para.
Para Sukhe Duki Sada Mitya Basi Para Duka Sukakara.
Para Sukhe Duki Sada Mitya Basi Para Duka Sukakara.
Ashesha Kamana Anamachivara Kudi Damba Parayana.
Ashesha Kamana Vidima Himura Kudi Damba Parayana.
Omada Mata Sada Ishaye Mohita Insa Garbha Vibhushana.
Madamata Sada Vishaye Mohita Insa Garbha Vibhushana.
Nidra Lasya Hatta Sukhaye Virata Akaye Ujogiyami.
Nidralasya Hata Sukhaye Virata Akarye Ujogiyami.
So Pratista Lagiya Satya Acharana Lovahata Sarakami.
Pratistalagiya Satyaracharana Lobahata Sarakami.
Ehena Durtana Satchana Varjita Aparadi Nirantara.
Nina Durjana Sajana Varjita Aparigirantara.
Subhakarya Sanya Sadhanartha Mana Manaduke Jara Jara.
Subhakarya Sunya Sadhanartamana Nana Duke Jara Jara.
Oh Bharake Ekana Upaya Vina Ade Dinaya Kinchana.
Varnake Ekana Upaya Vihina Tate Dina Akinchana.
Oh Bhakati Vinora Prabhu Charane Hare Dukadi Vedana.
Akati Vinora Prabhura Charane Kare Duke Nivedana.
Oh Amara Jivanda Sarapati Rata Aki Punyera Lesha.
Amara Jivana Sada Papirata Naika Punyera Lesha.
Bharera Udvega Diyachi Ekata Diyachi Jivera Klesha.
Harera Udvega Diyachi Ekata Diyachi Jivera Klesha.
My life is always engrossed in sin. There's not a trace of piety within it. I've caused others so much anxiety, trouble. I'm never afraid to engage in sinful activities for the sake of my own happiness. A merciless, selfish, perpetual liar. I'm saddened by the happiness of others pleased by the sadness of others. The unlimited sinful desires within the core of my heart. An angry, arrogant, always maddened with vanity, infatuated with mundanity, and ornamented with malice and pride. I am subdued by laziness and sleep, averse to performing good deeds, eager to perform sinful deeds. I engage in deceitful behavior in pursuit of prestige. I am ruined by greed and constant covetous. Such a sinner as I is shunned by devotees, is a constant offender. I am devoid of virtuous motives, always interested, always intent upon evil, and racked by various miseries. Now aged, I am devoid of any means of deliverance, and thus destitute and distressed, Bhakti Yoga submits this remorseful confession. I love this real Lord.
That's my favorite prayer. I like this prayer a lot.
People who come here have to hear this kind of stuff. But I'm telling you, you're beautiful, you're wonderful. We don't get many customers, but anyway, you can understand. By teaching humility, patience, tolerance, humble, sincerity, love, real love. That love which is eternal, touches the core of reality. Within the reality within you and the reality of which you are a part. Not superficial, bodily conception. The deeper conception. Love comes from within. Not lust. Lust is outer expression of greed, and all these things are outer expressions of something within. What is that within that we're looking for? Love, that's called prem. That lust, which is called lalya. Lalya means inner desire, longing. Longing for something, longing for satisfaction, longing for complete satisfaction, complete happiness. Hare Krishna. So those things we don't have any knowledge of. We have only knowledge of external, superficial existence. And they are not teaching that in this world. And they are not interested in learning those things either. What to do. So Mahatma Sadhurava, Krishna says, a great soul, Mahatma, you heard this word Mahatma. Those who are great souls, not just ordinary souls. Atma is soul, ordinary soul. Mahatma is a great soul. Those are Mahatma, great souls. They are looking for something greater than the ordinary souls are looking for. They want something very real, substantial, and not just that which falls within the narrow range of our superficial life, the range of our conscious life. We are conscious of so many things, but actually, what are we conscious of? I'm saying we're a very small thing, a very small part on a small part of the universe. And we think we have known everything? No, not possible. We depend upon grace. If there's no air, you would not be able to breathe. If there's no food, you would not be able to eat. If there were no Vedas, you would not be able to know anything. You think your brain is independent. Just as your stomach is dependent on food, your lungs are dependent on air. You're not independent. Even your brain, your knowing is not independent. We are dependent, very dependent. Without all these things being provided for us, finished. There's nothing. We can't do it alone. Cannot. Anything. But we don't see that. We're dying. We think we're living, but we're dying. And we can't do anything about it. Because we're trapped in a mortal frame. They call it mortal frame. We're not immortal. We don't want to be mortal. We want to be immortal. We want to live. But we don't know how to get there. And that's what Veda is teaching. Positive and progressive immortality, and how to get there. How to get to the immortal plane. You want to do it with these cryogenic machines. No, they want to freeze people. Not going to do it. DNA manipulation. DNA is material. The body is material. And they won't be able to get what is material to act like spirit. Spirit is there, matter is there. To understand spirit. That is what's lacking in modern world. We must learn that. We must learn it. It's crucial, critical. We should understand. Vedas tell us you're dying. You're going to enter another life. Don't think your life is going to be finished with this one. Your life is going to continue. The whole Bhagavad Gita is about that. Krishna is telling Arjuna, don't worry about killing these people. They're going to die anyhow, and you're going to die too. And unless you surrender to me, you're not going to get freed from that again, birth again and again. You know samsara. Every Indian should know. And the need for liberation, moksha. The Christians want salvation. They think in one lifetime, that's all they have to worry about. They don't know what real salvation means even. Yes, it involves surrender to God. But what is that? And how does one come to the higher platform above the mortal plane? And to the eternal plane. That knowledge is there, and it is there for us to study and to take seriously. And for those who have a keener intelligence, keener understanding of these things, and wants sincerely to know that knowledge, then only those Krishna provides. He doesn't neglect us. People think, why is God so cruel? Forgetting us. He's not forgetting us. We're just not serious enough. We're ready to settle for anything. Whatever little scraps he gives us, okay, yes, no, it's enough. But we have to want more. And the more we want, the more Krishna will give us. He won't abandon us. Ye yata mam prapadyante. As you surrender to me, I will give you more and more as you surrender to me. That is the key. Every action produces a reaction. Newton's law. Every surrender produces more knowledge, more entrance, more knowledge, how to enter into that world of surrender, of Sharanagati. All you require is that laulya, that earnestness, the longing for going into that platform, going into that plane, and giving up the exploitive plane. You can't have both. You can't have both devotion and exploitation. You can't exploit this world and expect to have any connection with that world. That world requires disconnecting from the lower thing and connecting with the higher thing. So, Sharanagati. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Sharanam means Sharanagati, surrender to me. Mam ekam. Me alone. Me only. Mam ekam. Don't engage in so many other duties. Don't engage in so many things and then leave Krishna out of the picture. Or say, okay, yeah, well, Krishna is there too. No. They won't accept it. Mam ekam, me alone. We may not be able to get there right away. That's the idea he's given us. Now we have to try our best. Not that you have to give up everything all at once. It's very difficult. No one expects that. But he does expect that we try to chant the holy name, Maha Mantra, associate with the devotees, take prasad, read Bhagavad Gita, and gradually try to make progress in your spiritual life. And it will happen. And if you have faith, gradually you'll be able to understand more and more. So, any questions?
When you say get more, Maharaj,
Huh?
when you say the more we surrender,
Uh,
we get more, right?
Knowledge.
From a certain perspective, it sounds like, okay, I surrender to Krishna, and I get that 50 grand I want,
What?
the $50,000.
No, not that kind of, not that kind of more. The more we surrender to Krishna, the more we want Krishna, the more we want His service, then we will get that. If we want mundane things, we won't get that from Krishna. He will rather withdraw from you. He doesn't want you to become rich and famous. He doesn't. He knows that will simply take you away from Him. Why He should give you that? Who is a devotee? They will have to suffer like anything in this world. That is His blessing to them. Who can't make it in this world, that is a blessing to them. That is a blessing from Krishna, direct blessing are getting from Him. Because He doesn't want you to become entangled. He only wants you to come to Him, to serve Him. And if you don't, He's not going to help you forget Him. He's trying to make you remember Him. He loves you.
Well, then how do we put together and deal with the materialistic world in which we live? Because we need to make money to live.
I don't.
And then we have a spiritual world.
You can do, you try, you have to do what you can.
Yeah.
What your situation arranges with. If you have to make money, you do that. But doesn't mean that you have to forget everything else. When you're making money, you're going and working hard,
Is
trying to
that,
making your life.
Is-
Then you have to think, oh, there's also Krishna. Huh?
As I understand and like what I learned, yeah, that like in Christianity they go to church and they pray to God, oh, help me,
Mentality.
no, help me to get more money, like $50,000. And what we're studying here, we don't, this is not the right way to ask Krishna and God that will help me with money.
When it
Because
comes to God,
if He
just
decides and He will like,
when it
Oh,
comes to
let's
God,
say
just think of
arrange.
how I can please Him, how I can serve Him, how I can surrender to Him. That's what our only connection with God should be. Otherwise, you do your thing here in the material world that you think you have to do. No problem. Because it doesn't say that you have to give up everything like that. I'm only saying that when you come to Him in the right spirit. Pray to Him in the right mood. And wanting to surrender to Him, wanting to please Him, wanting to serve Him, wanting to love Him. I want Him to love you. Like He already loves us, but we feel like that. But otherwise, you have to carry on your duties. No doubt. You can't just give that up. Not possible. Even Arjuna was a fighter. Krishna would tell him to give up fighting. Somehow he had to use that also in the service of Krishna. That would be the better thing. Whatever you're doing, you could use it somehow in service. If you're working, making money, to give money to the service of Krishna. You use your fruits of your actions for the service of God. That's called karma yoga. You're doing something for a result, then you give the result to Krishna. If you can, like, I don't know how you can use tennis in Krishna's service. But if you get money from that, then you can do something for service. Buy Krishna something, some prasadam or something like that. Do that. Always see how you can utilize whatever you're doing here. You know you have certain things to do here. How to use part of that, or all of it, in the service of the Lord, to glorify Krishna. We don't have to be selfish, even though we have to act for our own benefit. Develop that, what is that called? Munificent heart. Munificent. You know munificent word?
munificent.
Munificent. Magnanimous heart. Magnanimous, big-hearted. Giving mentality, not taking. Like that, you'll find your life becomes very happy. All this concern for getting and gathering, that does not make you happy. That put you always in anxiety. Others, whatever comes, we give by the grace of God. Whatever comes by the grace of God, we share by the grace of God. And then we find a very smooth, functioning, harmonious life. So, let us, any other questions? Gaurav.
Yes.
You know Gaurav? Gaurav is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name. Gaurava. Gaurava.
That's Gaurango, I guess.
Gaurav. Gaurav. Yeah. All right. So let's see what we have here. So what do we read already? Up, let's just see, we read, I don't know why I started here at the beginning. So, maybe not.
We read the introduction.
Okay. So this is the Sharanagati by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and it's including some of his bhashya, some of his commentary. And this is the invocation of auspiciousness. Can you all see?
Yeah.
If you want to move your sheet around or come up closer and look at the screen. Okay. Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahe Adya Rupanuga Jane Rajivana Vishwambara Priyakara Sri Swarupa Damodara Sri Goswami Rupa Sanatana. Can you see that? Mahaprabhu Sri
Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahe Anya Rupanuga Jane Rajivana Vishwambara Priyakara Sri Swarupa Damodara Sri Goswami Rupa Sanatana.
So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Sri Radha Krishna, and is the very life of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu's followers, Srila Sri Damodar Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu, and Srila Sanatana Goswami Prabhu are most dear to Vishwambar. Vishwambar is Mahaprabhu's name in Vishwambar. Rupa Priya Mahajana Jiva Raghunatana Tara Priya Kavi Krishna Dasa Krishna Dasa Priya Vara Narottama Seva Para Yarapala Krishnata Asa Vishwanatha Bhakta Sata Baladeva Jagannatha Andhra Priya Shri Bhakti Vinoda Madhava Vara Sri Gora Kishora Vara Hari Ramoda. Great souls, Sri Jiva Goswami Prabhu and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Prabhu are the dear followers of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu. Their dear follower is Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, and his dearmost follower is Srila Narottam Das Thakur, who is ever engaged in divine service. His feet are the aspiration of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So you can see how this knowledge is handed down from guru to disciple, who becomes the guru of the next disciple. This way that knowledge is not lost, they're not changed. If somebody comes in and changes it and puts their own interpretation in, you lose that pure line of devotion. That's what happens in the world many times. People become attracted to another teacher who is teaching something that's not a little bit impure, and the next teacher touches something more impure. This way people get diverted. And you have these modern teachers in the schools who are teaching so many things that have nothing to do with God. That's not right teacher, proper teacher. teacher for other things, no doubt, in the practical matters. But real knowledge is not coming from them. We have to find that pure line of teachers. We're not changing anything, but they surrender to their master and then convey that same message without changing it, without adding their own interpretation. Anuga Mahajana, Sri Krishna Kirtanana, Yavadila Puri Jagaka,
Shri Varsha Bhavani Vara, Sada Sevya Seva Para, Taharatya Sanama.
The foremost devotees of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, are Srila Baladev Mudabhushan, and Srila Jagannath Das Babaji, and their dear followers, Srila Bhakti Yoga Thakur. His associate is the best of the topmost devotees, Sri Gaurkishore Das Babaji, who is the sole joy, whose sole joy is the service of Sargari. And you'll see on the altar, Bhakti Yoga Thakur, Jagannath Das Babaji, and the followers from there, and the Parampara. And we are trying to follow that teaching. They're coming down straight from Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to the present day, 500 years ago. Jiva Bina Dehadi Divya, Sarupa Rupa Raghudriya, Sarase Se Paraparma, Yara Bhagyo Jaya Sangha,
Dasaramananda Manda, Shri Chandrika Deke Seva Sarma,
Swayarachara Adhi, Samanam Jivan Gorangi Pankaje, Udvitya Sarana Pater, Mahatmyam Sabodaya, Jaschayasya Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhu Guru, Atudara Padamboja Dhulisyam Janma Janmani. This looks like a holiday. I'm not sure. Yeah. Follower of Sri Gaurkishore Das Babaji, the great soul Daitra Das, Srila Saraswati Thakur, whose wealth is Sri Krishna Kirtan, fulfills the desires of the whole world, is the dearmost of Sri Vishamanavi, who is always engaged in their service. That's Radharani. Divine personage, Sri Dvaita Das, is not different from Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhu. His very life is Sri Damodar, Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhu, and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. His lotus feet are to be served eternally. The feeble Ramananda Das, whose good fortune has arisen, sees the Sri Laghu Chandrika Bhasha as a temple of his service. I understand. This is the commentary. That's why it's a little different. This is the commentary here. That was Sri Maharaj. He's talking about his spiritual master and how his spiritual master is the embodiment of the previous teachers, and how those teachings coming from the previous teachers are coming to his guru, and he's trying to give praise to that. Guru Dam Ganta Dam Guru Ram Gaura Dam Dam Nama Dam Bhuta Bhakti Dam Bhuri Dam Vande Bhakti Vinoda Kamasara Bhakti Vinoda Devana Sharanamika Rakachita Pushtika Kachita Shasya Krito Dhyamaha. This is also written by Sripad. Very nice. Trying to praise Bhakti Vinoda Thakur. My master, the universal Guru Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, of bliss, the conditioned soul, submerged in the ocean of their whimsical activities to the lotus feet of Sri Gauranga. He enlightens them about the greatness of Sharanagati. Let me be a particle of dust of these supremely magnanimous lotus feet, birth after birth. I perpetually offer my obeisances unto Srila Bhakti Yoga Thakur with great joy. Guru Dham, he is the first and foremost of the giver of Sri Guru Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Saraswati was the son of Bhakti Yoga Thakur. That's why he's praised as the giver of his guru. Saraswati Thakur is the guru of Srila Maharaj. They're writing the commentary. Bhakti Yoga Saraswati Thakur, the inaugurator of the new era of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Prasaraj Guru.
Yes. Grantadam is the author of numerous commentaries treatises, articles, novels, and songbooks, which represent the condensed essence of revealed truth. Gaura Dham is the revealer of the abode of Sriman Mahaprabhu, which had become lost due to the course of time. Namadam, he is the giver of the name, the proper conception of the name. Bhakti Dham is the giver of pure devotion, the proper conception of pure devotion in the line of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu. Puri Dham, he is the bestower of the abundance of divine fortune, ultimately the servant of Srimati Radharani. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur composed a short book entitled Sharanagati, upon which I have written a commentary. Now, for I am very dull-witted, for the sake of illumination, I offer the devotees this gentle moonlight commentary, which represent the conclusions of pure devotion. Preface by Srila Bhakti Rakasrita Dev Goswami Maharaj. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Dev has clearly declared within this material world the message that the fortune of Sri Krishna Prema, divine love for Sri Krishna, which condemns the four ends of conventional religion, dharma, piri, artha, wealth, kama, enjoyment, and moksha, liberation, is the fifth and supreme end of human life. Sharanagati is the sole means to obtain that topmost end of human life. To enlighten the soul's condition in the material world about this, and to reveal the process of Sharanagati, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Dev himself descended, along with eternal associates and divine abode Sri Navadvip Dham. He taught Sharanagati through his own practice and preaching, as well as through the practice and preaching of his capable servants. Sometime later, one of his devotee associates, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, gave extensive guidance about the practice of Sharanagati through analysis and description of his limbs and sub-limbs in this small book named Sharanagati. Prior to Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, other acharyas also spoke at length about Sharanagati. Additionally, the fundamental teaching of Sharanagati are found within Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. The subject of Sharanagati is also especially well known within the Sri Sampradaya. Still, the way in which Sri Krishna Chaitanya Chandra has revealed the fundamental nature of Sharanagati is unparalleled. He has thought that Sharanagati is the appropriate means of attaining the fortune of the divine loving service, Prema Seva, of Vrajendra Nandan Krishna, the whimsical enjoyer of the wives of the cowherd men of Vraja, whose divine form is the origin of the absolute truth. Therefore, in order to distribute this illustrious teaching of Sharanagati, Srimad Bhakti Vinod Thakur has invoked the benediction of that supreme munificent origin of all avatars, Sri Chaitanya Chandra, by first mentioning his name while establishing the theme of a treatise within this in his invocation of spaciousness.
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Divadaya Kori Swaparsada Sriyadam Savatari. There is explaining. Sri Krishna Chaitanya is the sannyasi name of Sri Gaurasanga. Gaurasanga means the golden Lord, beautiful golden Lord, or Lord Chaitanya. Being merciful to the soul, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descends with his associates and abode. Sri Krishna Chaitanya is the sannyas name of Sri Gaurasanga. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya uses this name in his prayer for glory. I don't have to say that one. Gala Nastam Bhakti Yogam Nijam Yaha Badus Kartum. What happened?
This is, I think, the commentary, but this is the translation of the verse.
Yes. Tada Badus Kartum Krishna Chaitanya Nama Avyabhutas Tasya Padara Vinde Gadam Gadam Diyatam Chita Vrinda. Atyanta Durlabha Prema Karivaradana Sikaya Sharanagati Bhakti Prana. Distribute the most rare form of praying. Tita Sharanagati, which is the life of devotees. The commentary. May the honeybee of my heart be ever more deeply attached to the lotus feet of he who has now appeared as Sri Krishna Chaitanya, to receive the practice of devotion to himself, which had become lost through the influence of time. In Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Sri Gaur Sanda Sannyas ceremony is described. Yatra Jagatera Tumi Krishna Bolaiva Karaila Chaitanya Kirtan Prakashila Erike Tumara Nam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sarvalokato Haiti Yate Haila Janya. You have indeed induced the whole world to chant Krishna's name and brought everyone to life, the meaning of Chaitanya, life or consciousness, by inaugurating the Sankirtan movement. Therefore your name will be Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Because of you, everyone in the whole universe has become fortunate. Enamate sanyasya kariya prabhudanya Bhakashila Atmanama Sri Krishna Chaitanya. In this way, the Lord gloriously accepted sannyas and revealed his name to Krishna Chaitanya. Not partially his associates, this means his servants, as is implied in Srimad Bhagavatam 9:25. Yanti deva rata devan bitran yanti prati rata. Bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhyajino. Those who are devoted to the demigods go to the realm of the demigods. Those who are devoted to the ancestors go to the realm of the ancestors. Those who are devoted to ghosts and spirits go to the realm of such beings, and those who are devoted to me come to me. This is Krishna's impartiality. You worship this person and that person, whatever you want to worship, you go there. You want to worship your grandparents and grandfathers, you go to them. You want to worship this, you go there. You want to worship the movie stars, you go to that place. You want to worship me, you'll come to me. Which do you want? Your choice. Krishna is giving that freedom to us. Which one do you want? I don't answer that.
No, I'm just thinking about the my friends who are Christians, and like they always go, oh, you have to believe in Christ, and I tell them, I have to believe into what I want to believe. Don't tell me.
That's what Krishna says. Do what you want, and he'll provide. Man proposes, God disposes. And you want to become rich, involved in that kind of activity? Yeah, go. I mean, I give you $1 million, but go try. It won't stop you. But you will stop yourself, because you'll find out this is not what I want. When you go to him, then you'll find complete satisfaction. Then you'll be happy. Anyhow, that we have to learn. Tad Bhasyate Sunyo na Shanko na Pavakaha Yad Garvana Nivartante Tadama Paramam Mama. Having reached my supreme abode, which cannot be illuminated by the sun, moon, or fire, anything material, the surrendered souls never return to this mundane world. Ananta Durlabha Prayam, the most rare form of praying. This refers to the fifth end of human life. Remember the four endeavors of life. Artha, Kama, Moksha. No, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma means you have some duty in your life. You want to do that, and you have to fulfill whatever role you have in life. Dharma. Artha means you want to increase your position, your wealth, your possessions, your family, whatever it may be. So there's your position in life. There's the attempt to increase your position, make your opulence in your life more opulent, dharma, artha, kama, and your lust, your desires. You want to fulfill all your desires, and then after you're through with all that, you say, "Oh, what the heck was the use of it? It's all going to die soon, and I get all this money, all this kids, all this everything, and I'm going to die. Then I'm going to leave it all behind. I'll leave it all to them or whatever, and finish. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. No, let me get free from all this, because at the end of this life, I'm not going to be able to take it with me. Moksha.
That's what, like, I see with some people that I knew, they came to this realization when, at the end of their life, I got all of this and I
Now what? Now what are you going to do? So Krishna's
and
telling
I
us.
mean, like the people with big means, money.
So Krishna is telling us, don't get trapped in that. Don't get trapped in that disappointing existence. Come to me. I am the fifth goal. Your service, your surrender to me, that is the fifth goal in life. If you can take up that kind of endeavor, that will be your reward. That will be your most satisfying thing. Don't be disappointed that everything will end in death otherwise. All you have obtained will end as dust. And you will end as dust. Don't make that your whole of existence, the whole of your existence, just like the dust. There's something higher you have that belongs to you, your most valuable asset. It's your soul. What did Christ say? What does it get? By man gain by gaining everything. What does the soul gain by gaining everything? And he loses his eternal soul. Well, what does one gain by getting everything and loses his eternal soul? Nothing. Gets dirt. Ends up, he winds up as worm food. Anyhow, so you're saying. All right. There are four things, and then the fifth thing. Okay, this is the thing we want to take there. Janata silabha bhuktir yadi punyata seyam sada shastraya hari bhakti sudurlabha. Shiva says, liberation is easily attained by cultivating knowledge of Brahman, of Jnana. Heavenly enjoyment, bhakti, is easily attained by performing sacrifices, pious activities, karma. And however, by following thousands of different spiritual practices, Hari Bhakti is extremely difficult to attain, as it requires servitude to the Lord's pure devotees. The proper conception of the Lord's divine nature, firmly fixed, loving attachment for the Lord, devoid of any impurities or ashakti, and the Lord's merciful acceptance of the practitioner. This is the difficulty that one faces when he tries to approach the Lord. It's difficult. And the main thing is, without his mercy, we can practice, for lifetimes together. If we don't get his mercy, what can we do? Because we can't approach that with anything we can do. Whatever we do is finite. And you're trying to reach the infinite by your finite activities, one little step after another. You won't get there. Ever. Unless he comes and says, all right, now I'm satisfied that you're serious. And you gotta be very serious. Gotta be very sincere. Otherwise he's not gonna fool Krishna. He fooled so many people, but he won't be able to fool him. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the most rare form of praying which Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to distribute, is described as follows. Anya Atmi Nivedana Kopritve Varana Avasyara Shiva Krishna Avasyara Shiva Krishna Vishwasa Palana Bhakti Anukula Matra Karera Svakyara Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Vajana Gakara Humility, these are the qualities of surrender. Humility, self-submission, embracing the Lord's guardianship, maintaining the faith that Krishna will certainly protect me, engaging only in activities which are favorable to devotion, rejecting everything unfavorable to devotion. These are explained by Rupa Goswami and Bhakti Vinod Thakur as the means by which our Sharanagati can be cultivated. Huh? And then in the commentary saying, Anarpita Chidim Chera Karunayavateno Kalo Samarpaitam Unatojvala Rasam Bhakti Kriyam Hari Purata Sundara Duti Kanamana Sandipita Sara Hridaya Kandare Puratoya Pa Sachinandana. He's saying, my dear, may the radiant golden Lord Sri Sachinandana. Sachinandana means the son of Sachi, who is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His mother's name was Sachi Devi. The Sri Sachinandana means the son of Sachi Devi, the Lord Mahaprabhu, always being manifest in the core of your heart. He mercifully descended in the age of Kali to give the wealth of devotion to himself, supremely exalted Madhurya Ras, which had never been given before. For Sharanagati means surrender, seems to take shelter of the Lord in all respects. Sharanagati is defined as the essence, Sri Panditivanamrita. Panditivanamrita means the nectar within the life of the surrendered souls. We think, surrender, serve, all this, what does that mean? Is that a very nice life? Be humble, be patient, be tolerant, accept everything, renounce, whatever is there in the world, all these pleasures, all these things. That kind of life is that? Is that a very exciting life? You know, be a servant of another human being, even a guru, a devotee. Is that an exciting life? Is that the way we want to live our life? Yes, Shastra says. Smash the whole material conception, run one slice like that. Now you're not to become the biggest of the big. Non-tribal, humble. Now you're to become meek. Live a life of sacrifice, of giving. What is the result of that? What is the good of that? You don't know. We don't know. The wonder that is waiting for those who come to that place. The ecstasy that fills one's heart who has the grace of Krishna. By that attitude, he will get the grace of Krishna. And who has that love, that grace of Krishna, who can experience that, is conscious of that, they will know the reward of that mentality, of that attitude. No one else. Will remain forever a locked secret to those who won't give a piece of their heart to the Supreme Lord. Even a small slice, a small moment of surrender is enough to experience the bliss of that world. Krishna will help us. Even if we take one small step, he will come thousands of steps closer to us to give us a reward for that. The attempt we make. What to speak if you live your life like that? And even you don't get any reward in this life. It's like your spiritual bank account. You're putting money into your spiritual bank account. And in the future that can come. You don't know when. Whether it's this life or the next life. But you'll get the reward. There's no question of that. Every action will produce a reaction. When you take, it will be taken from you. And when you give, it will be given to you. That's karma. But in the spiritual world, it doesn't karma, not karma, but it's grace, it's mercy. When he is pleased with you, then you will feel that pleasure. By pleasing him, you will be pleased.
I'm just thinking about my name.
About you?
I'm thinking about my name.
Your name?
Yeah, my name, Jana. It means God's grace.
It means God's grace.
God's grace. And I guess so that when I was born, I mean, then God put it in the
You are.
hand of my parents.
The fact that you are is God's grace. And you are. You're always
Yeah,
different.
but it also the name, because they originally wanted to call me Maya, from the month May, like that. But then they just changed it into Jana.
Jai, Haribo! Something's going on there.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we'll stop here, and we'll go on studying this every week. If you'd like to participate in this beautiful study of the Sharanagati, I do note, of course, these is very wonderful, very inspiring, and very helpful to our spiritual lives. Anything anyone wants to ask or say?
So the problem with what we normally face is that the society in which we live in.
I'm sorry?
The society that which we live in at this
What
point.
do you say?
The society which we live in at this point,
Yes.
The tribes and tribes
Can you move this out of the way?
in a society. Now that type of goal, actually pushes you to not to feel for the fellow that is beside you, not to feel for the other person, but to take everything from everyone and be the best. So that is the conflict. The society conflicts with what we are trying to teach here, and the society conflicts with the way we are trying to follow the fellow feeling, the surrender to the God, to the Krishna. So that's the problem that normally we are facing at this point. So what is your thought process in that? I mean, how to stay to the course and not to be distracted by such kind of...
Very simple. Just chant Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Your life is being directed by Him. You may not know it, you may not realize it, but it's all being directed by Him. To come to that consciousness, to come to that awareness, the only thing that we can do, and Mahaprabhu, according to Mahaprabhu, is to chant Hare Krishna. We may think, what's that going to do? But that's the process. Try to chant Hare Krishna. You come, whenever you have a chance, come talk to the devotees, associate with devotees, take prasadam. If you have, like I said, in your life, if you have an altar at home, or you can offer some puja to the Lord. If you talk to your friends, you can tell them, have you heard about Krishna? Do you know about chanting Hare Krishna? Do you know about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And like that, introduce in your life, in every small way you can. And even if you have to just sit in your room one day and say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram. Let Krishna reveal Himself more and more in your life, what He wants you to do. As much as we can do. We've forgotten, we've lost the consciousness of His presence, of His guidance in our life, and our relationship with Him. So we have to revive that. And the method in this age is called chanting the holy name. And as much as possible, chant with the devotees. It's called Sankirtan. There's Kirtan and there's Sankirtan. San means together, huh? And Sankirtan, speaking together about Krishna, hearing about Krishna with others who are engaged in that. That's